Hello, friends, fans, foes, and everything in between. I'm Nathan Marchand, and welcome to one of the rare instances where I have a topic that is relevant to everything I do, as you will soon see. If I didn't say it already, I'm Nathan Marchand. I'm an author, podcaster, and a lot of other things. Thank you for your patience. We've been experiencing some very bizarre technical difficulties that I've never dealt with before. I am really starting to question the legitimacy of StreamYard at this point, but at the moment, it does a lot of things that I appreciate, and it's easier to use than OBS. But I digress, which is also the name of one of the shows that's going out. But the reason why this is highly relevant to everything that I love to talk about and do is because of my guest tonight. You know him, you love him, James Santana.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Yeah, well, how are you doing tonight?
Great. Thank you for that wonderful intro, by the way. That made me feel so good.
I strive to please. What can I say? So, man, I think this is actually the third time that I have interviewed you, which is kind of wacky.
Let's see. We did it for
For your preview book, and then for Supergroup,
and now this. Yeah. Oh, this is
and
three
now
times.
for this.
Yeah. Let's go. I'm a recurring guest. I love it.
I was gonna say, you just keep making stuff that requires some, say it with me now, shameless self-promotion that you just have to keep coming.
Absolutely.
Yes. And by the way, everybody, please gather around in the chat, leave some comments. Well, if we have some time, we might take a few questions or comments from the audience, because it's kind of a full circle moment here, because the first time I brought you on, you were doing a Kickstarter for a preview book, which, for those who don't know, a preview book is a comic book that has an anthology of stories in it. A lot of times they're excerpts from what are meant to be longer books, hence why they're called preview books. And you were kickstarting that because you had just launched Toku USA, and we'll get into that here a moment in case anyone has forgotten. And now you're paying it off because your flagship character, Nebulon, is now on Kickstarter for issue number 1.
Yes, he is. I'm so glad we finally got to bring him out fully in his own story, going out to everyone. I love it. I'm happy that we're finally here. I can't wait to share him with everyone. I'm super hyped for him. He's been a long time coming, with tons of more stories to follow.
I'm actually, I should have properly downloaded the materials that you sent me. I'll get a picture of him here in a moment. But while I'm doing that, for those who may not know, if they didn't watch or listen to those other 2 interviews, who are you, James? Briefly, we don't want to get into.
I know, right?
We want to focus on the topic at hand. But who are you?
Well, okay, so I'm James Santana. I am the co-writer, co-creator, and co-founder of Toku USA, co-writer and co-creator of Nebulon, Knight of Justice. I am a dad. I know my wife and daughter are watching this live now. So hi, honey. I know she's kind of upset because it's like all this. Yeah.
Hi. What are their names?
Veronica and Lisa.
Hi, Veronica and Lisa.
Hi, guys. So that's my wife and daughter. But yeah, so I am a manager of a comic book shop out in Long Island called Andrew's Amazing Comics. I've been there for 13 years. I've been collecting comics since middle school, so it's been a long time. I won't say exactly how old I am, but I'm old.
You made the joke before I did.
Exactly. So I've been collecting comics forever. So that's my kind of comic book background. My nickname is Comic Book Historian. And outside that, my Toku stuff is, I grew up in the 90s. So everything Power Rangers related got flooded to my little brain. And I've been a Power Rangers fan since then. I expanded out to other things. Anything that was Saban / Toku related, I loved. And then, of course, Godzilla. And then now I've gotten older, and I've now watched Sentai, and I watched the Ultraman stuff, and I watched Kamen Rider. By the way, that's premiered last week, and it was fantastic. So yeah, uh,
I did a for for the Henshin heroes who listen to Henshin Power V3. Jake and I talked about that. We reacted to it live after we did our normal weekly coverage of Ultraman Omega, and so we got into that, and it was better than I expected.
yeah,
The slight tangent. I'll just bring this. Just reiterate it. I've had a hard time getting into modern Common Rider.
yeah,
I watched the first episode of 01 and Geets had trouble enjoying them. I find that I gravitate more toward Showa and Heisei,
yeah,
because I then was like, well, this wasn't grabbing me, and then just to continue the experiment, I watched the first episode of Ryuki and it got me. Well, I went into this not sure what to expect, and I was hooked.
yeah.
I was hooked very quickly.
Dude, I ended up watching it. I actually watched it with my wife and daughter. I was like, oh, I guess we're watching this, and it was good.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yes, tokusatsu stuff I love. So yeah, I watched kind of the anime. Didn't find out it was a real tokusatsu series until I was like way older. So yeah,
And
that's
now it's on Blu-ray.
yes, and I cannot wait. So yeah, that's kind of me in a nutshell. I know I skipped over all the other stuff because go watch other interviews I've been on with Nate and other stuff I've been on. So yeah, go ahead. You can find out more about me there.
Yeah. Well, by the way, I do want to bring this up really quick. We have a comment here from probably my biggest fan. Possibly he's in the running for sure. I'm just waiting for him to start buying all my books, and then he is truly my biggest fan. But Edwin Gonzalez, and he wrote, James Santana created a universe that's got Brashogun energy references, got DC on the brain. I know what he's talking about.
Yes.
Do you know what he's talking about?
Yes. Dude, it's awesome. Thank you.
Which is interesting because he requested that for Patreon on the MIFE Patreon. Right. And that will be the next thing I record. I've finished all my research. It'll be a double feature with that, for those who want to know, Teen Titans Trouble in Tokyo and The Last Dinosaur, which is this funny little late 70s TV tokusatsu movie that was a co-production between Rankin Bass and Tsuburaya.
Yeah, because Rankin Bass imported a lot of their stop motion guys from Tsuburaya to create all the holiday specials.
Yeah. So
all full circle, guys.
Yeah, it's all full circle. So that will be the next thing I record. However, I am going to rewatch Teen Titans Trouble in Tokyo one more time before I put the script together and then go and record that. That'll be a solo episode.
That's fair.
So yeah. So maybe that's also why he's got a little bit of it on the brain right now. Anyway, so just to let everybody know, I'm going to show a quick picture or two here of ya boy. But this is who we're talking about tonight.
I love that cover so much.
Yeah, this is your cover B,
yeah,
right?
It's a B cover. Yep, it's a B cover for the comic.
Which is funny because this is the when you sent out when you gave me the preview edition of this, because I will be writing a review of it for Kaiju United. This was the cover it had, so I assumed that this was the only cover.
No,
but there's actually 3, which we'll talk about in a little bit once we get to Kickstarter stuff.
Yep.
But I do want to show what is my personal favorite of the covers, and spoiler warning, this is the one that I jumped on when I made my pledge for your Kickstarter. And for those who read the Boom Studios Power Ranger comics, they'll get what this one is referencing. But I love this one.
I love it so much. We got that done right when we did the first short story. And we got that done just because we wanted it. Like, I love that cover. I love that style. And I was like, I just want that cover just to hang in my bedroom.
I would agree. Like, out of the 3 that you have, the one I would I would take as a poster would be this one. But for those who don't know, what is this? I'm talking about it generally speaking, but what is this referencing?
So, these are, well, for our purposes, that's our C cover. It was done by Gaston Flores. It's an homage to the Power Rangers Boom Studio, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Boom Studios comic book helmet cover variants that ran from the first series by Gone Motes, where it's all the Power Ranger helmets. So I'm like, this is perfect. It fits the genre. I love it so much. It's just, I had to do a cover swipe.
What astonishes me about that is that it's I think it's honestly the only time I've seen an alternate or variant cover for a comic book become the icon.
Yeah, it's been actually my icon. It's such a cool idea. Like, I even use this one for most of my social media. When we first came out and started doing stuff for Nebulon and Tokyo USA in general, that was like our icon, that him holding the helmet, and it was just like, it's so cool. Little backstory to why we even did this. One, because we both, me and Hunter, both love those variant covers, but also, if you look, you don't see his face, because in the original pitch Bible that we have, you're not supposed to know who Nebulon is by the end of issue 1. Originally, when we like joked about it being like a forever ongoing series, if we had unlimited money and unlimited capital, the first arc you wouldn't know who was under the helmet. But like, because we don't have unlimited money, unless you guys give us a lot of money, and we will make this book run forever. Yeah, it's the cool like helmet cover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the thing that's interesting about both this version and the original Boom Studios one for the Power Rangers, that it just dawned on me, is you can't tell if he took the helmet off or he's about to put it on.
Right. I always assumed it was taking it off because they're still like transformed. I think of it from the Power Rangers movie, when they're like, they have the helmets off and then they go back in action, they put the helmet back on. And they did that back in the show too, towards later, like Mighty Morphin era stuff.
I think it was season 2 when they started doing that. Of Mighty Morphin.
Yeah, we had an actual budget to use. But yeah, so yeah, it's a complete homage. I love it so much. It's also our collector's edition, because after this run, spoilers for everyone that's like listening, after this run, we're probably never going to make copies of that helmet cover ever again. We will do versions of it with other characters for other books, but this version is one and done for this Kickstarter only.
Right. So this might be the one to jump at, people. It's worth the extra $5.
Yes.
I don't normally endorse variant covers because I think that's the new comic book cover gimmick. Then if you read comics in the 90s, you know all about cover gimmicks. The 90s was replete with them. Yes. And I feel like variant covers now are the new versions of that, but I will confess, I like this one. And well, Marvel has been doing some Godzilla comics where he crosses over with the Marvel universe, and there have been a few of the variants that I've looked at. I was like,
oh, I love it.
One I want to get for very personal reasons. One is because it's my boy Jet Jaguar is on the cover.
Yes.
So I kind of have to. And for the other one is I want to get the variant for Godzilla versus the Fantastic Four, where it's Johnny blasting it with fire. Because for those who don't know, I'm Johnny Storm, baby, for Scyther podcast on Avengers the audio drama. So I have a reputation for taking ownership of my characters. So
exactly. I know. It's funny. I love listening to Scyther's audio podcast. So it's like, you're Deadpool. You're also Deadpool.
Yes, I'm Deadpool.
And you're Rito.
And I'm Rito. Yes. I run the entire gamut. I've got a villain with Rito. I've got an anti-hero with Deadpool, and I have a hero with Johnny. So yeah, I've got range, although all of them are kind of snarky a-holes.
Yeah, I expect no less.
I feel like I've been a little typecast, but
Happens.
I'm working to expand off of that a little bit and get another Deadpool appearance because we need more Deadpool. I've only done Deadpool once for Scyther, and it was a post-credit gag, but people have really latched onto it and really associate me with Deadpool. But anyway, we're not here to talk about my pseudo voice acting career or my voice acting pseudo career or whatever.
Happens.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Oh, Edwin's got another comment here. The gimmick should help tell the story like the Massiveverse tends to do.
I know. I love it.
I like how he thinks because that's how comic book covers used to be.
Yes. I am also, without spoiling a lot of stuff, I am technically a black market narrative ambassador. So yes, I know everything about Massiveverse that you can ask. I've been collecting those books and I pimp those books out all the time. I love that series. Tyler Higgins is a huge inspiration.
I got to meet him a few weeks ago.
Oh, dude, I met him. He read the first book.
Your preview book?
Yes. Back last year, I met him at New York Comic Con at the Ultraman panel, and I got to talk to him, and he's like, "Yes, send me your book." So, yeah.
I'm hoping. I don't want to make promises on the air, but I talked with him about potentially doing an interview, and he was interested. So
it's cool. I've interviewed him in the past when I used to have the podcast. He was great. I got him, Melissa, Ryan all together. Michael.
I met Melissa too. Well, she was there.
She's so nice. It's great.
Yeah. By the way, my co-host from Henshin Power V3, Jake Hambrick, is here. What's up, guys? I don't know how long I'll be here. I have terrible signal. So
understood. It's all good. Hey, thanks, man, for stopping by.
Yeah. But anyway, that's enough about comic book covers as well, because boy, we could get into it. So
yeah, we can.
Another quick reminder question. What is Toku USA and where are you based?
All right, so Toku USA we are currently based. Well, it's funny. Me and Hunter don't live in the same state anymore. Hunter moved to South Carolina. When we founded, I know, right? He left me behind. So when we first founded the actual everything for Toku USA, he was already living in South Carolina, but we started forming like our writing stuff right before he left. And so Toku USA is a comic book publishing company that specializes in making comic book based on and for and from fans of the tokusatsu genre. If you guys don't know what tokusatsu is, it just means special effect. It just means special effect in Japanese. But
yeah, it's not just superheroes and spandex, people. Okay. It's way more than that. I've made that abundantly clear in all of my podcasts.
Yes.
It's just if it has a bunch of special effects in it, it's tokusatsu.
Right. So we use that kind of as we specifically use it a lot for specifically Nebulon and what we dubbed the Nebuverse. We're taking a lot of the tokusatsu henshin hero stuff first, and then we're spreading it out from there. But Toku USA that's our main goal, our kind of like campaign idea is that, and our kind of like company goal is to spread tokusatsu from TV into comic books and to more American audiences that just see like Power Rangers as like a kiddie type of thing, and that you can do a lot more in tokusatsu and henshin style storytelling in comic books and give it to a bunch of audiences, and it'd be very much the same as like superhero books. Currently, we're based in two places, New York and South Carolina, because that's where me and Hunter are. So
yeah, there you go. And just to remind everybody, because I've brought this up, I think in the previous interviews, at least one of them, and elsewhere, this man, the reason we got connected is he was a listener.
Yes.
Stumbled across my podcast, started listening, and then reached out to me and said, I want to talk to you on the phone. It's like, okay. I thought it was going to be about podcast stuff. And he said, hi, I run Toku USA. I want you to write for us. And I'm like, what? So I have been studying the art of comic book writing. I've given James a couple of pitches. He loved them both. Yes. And hopefully, if things go well, because I do 10 million things, as I am wont to do, I will hopefully be coming on your show and others to promote my own Kickstarter
Right.
for Toku USA.
Yes.
And I do think I can say this. I should bring this up because I did mention this in the previous ones. I will be immortalizing, I should say, Crystal Lady from the MIFV in comic book form. So that
Yes.
will be interesting.
Yes. I can't wait. Like it's gonna be fun.
And
It's
we
fun.
have some. James also gave me one other crazy suggestion that I'm not going to bring up on here, but if we
Nope.
do it, it's going to be interesting.
It's gonna be fun. That one's gonna be fun. If we get to that point, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But anyway, so also to let people, these are kind of like, what are your credentials, sort of a thing.
Yeah, of
But
course.
briefly, what else have you produced?
Cool. So, I besides being a manager at Android's Amazing Comics in Stavelin, New York, I was the co-host of Android's Amazing Podcast with Hunter. We took a break once he like moved from house to house, just because technical stuff like Wi-Fi stuff. So we're on a mega hiatus until we kind of settle some other stuff. I also co-created a supergroup with Hunter, which bounced around from publisher to publisher, but now it's on the Toku USA now.
Which is kind of funny, to be honest.
Right. It went full circle from going from one publisher to another back to me and Hunter. It's full circle. If you guys don't know that, you don't know, Supergroup is a story about mental health in a superhero world. What happens to civilians that kind of survive, live day to day in the superhero world, and how they cope with it, whether it's friends of superheroes, loved ones of superheroes, sidekicks, co-workers, people that are involved in the superhero community, how they live and thrive in a superhero world. That is actually on Global Comics. If you want to check that out, you can, or on the current Kickstarter, you can back it on the current Kickstarter if you want. It's actually,
which I just shared the link.
Thank you.
In the chat to the Kickstarter.
Thank you. You can actually go to the current Kickstarter and get a PDF copy of Supergroup #1. Also, if you want to get Nebulon and Supergroup, and there's a cool crossover poster with Nebulon versus Atomic Man, which
references. Oh, you were about to say, sorry.
Yes, which does two things. One, it is a reference to a great and the first Marvel DC crossover, which is Spider-Man versus Superman. With Atomic Man being Superman and Nebulon being Spider-Man. And also it hints at something that me and Hunter have been planning between writing the Nebuverse and the world of Supergroup. So if you guys can get that, understand.
Yeah, a couple comments I want to highlight here. One from Jake. He says, "It's about time, Nate." I'm guessing he's talking about me writing a comic book.
I know, right?
It's been a bucket list item for me for a long time. So I'm hoping to make that a reality. And the Crystal Lady thing will be a fun little one shot, normal size comic book. I have a feeling the other pitch that I won't get too much into will probably require becoming some sort of a graphic novel series. So that may end up being very ambitious for Toku USA, to say the least.
Trust me, we have a couple of stories, not just from ourselves. We have a new writer / my editor, pitched us a cool story. He wrote a short story, and he also wrote what was a miniseries, which is now just an OGN. Which would be really cool. So we have a lot of stuff planned.
Yeah. And then the other one, another one from Edwin I want to highlight because this just cracks me up. He says, "Easy thing, get Nate, make him narrate the world of Nebulon like the narrator from Powerpuff Girls."
Oh man, I would love to spoil some stuff that me and Nate talked about behind the scenes, but we cannot talk about it.
Yeah, but that would be funny. Maybe I could do. Okay, I
don't
know. If I could record that, you could put it up on the Kickstarter. Do
I know,
like a little thing like on the first page, like I could read the narration from the first page or something, and you could do like this little panning shot throughout the comic book panels.
So I will say here as an additional, if we can get to 50% by the end of this week, which is only 2 days, I will spoil one project that we have in the works for the Nebuverse on our like social media. So if we get to 50% by the end of the week, I will spoil one project that we haven't talked about that no one knows about yet.
Like gasp.
So yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, I was just trying to see, if the numbers had moved.
I
yet
also
or
jumped
not.
up like we need to
Yeah.
spoil it now.
It's like, wait, what? I mean, because the preview book was a successful Kickstarter, which is
Yes.
great.
Yes, thank you.
This one's a bigger Kickstarter. This one's a
Yes.
little bit more ambitious, but you guys did it before,
Yes.
so I have confidence in you.
Yes. We're hoping that everyone that backed the first one comes back. We have a lot of plans. Any book that you saw in the two books that were announced in the preview book are being made. Both of them, both issue ones are done. So they're both set. They're all to go. So if anyone's like worried, like, oh, they're not done yet. No, we're done. We've been done, colored. Layouts are getting set this week. We are editing all done. We are 100%
So which I think is a great thing. So this is not a case of it's minimizing the risks for the backers because you can actually say, hey, we have a completed product.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that. So when you pledge your money, we will just like immediately get stuff printed and it is out to you.
Yep. Absolutely.
So it's not a thing like, it's like, hey, fund this and then by next year it'll be done. No, it's done.
Nope. It's done. It's 100% done. We got our final pages last week. Hunter is doing the layout. We just got like some small like back end like credits, like fluff stuff we have to do. But yeah, it's all set to go. Once the Kickstarter is done, we send it off to printer and we're set to go. So
yeah.
As long as we make it to pledge, yeah.
That reminds me. That is my. That's actually one of my questions, and that's who worked on this with you. So shout out your creative team.
Awesome. My co-creator, my partner in crime, my co-host, my co-founder, the guy I've written every book with forever that we just vomit ideas with each other at 1:00 in the morning. It's fantastic. Hunter Van Leerup, he is also working on a solo project called Trenches. That was hinted at in Supergroup. So you guys back Supergroup, you saw the ad in there. He's working on Trenches. He worked on a short story called Penguin Nomicon. It's a
wait. Penguin Nomicon?
Yes. Yes. Penguins
and waddly Arctic birds. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely. That is actually currently they're doing a fundraiser. That was actually part of an anthology that raised money that raises money for Antarctic research programs.
Wow.
So any money that book raises goes to that. I actually have that on all the socials. If you find Hunter, it's Scruffy Moose Man or Scruffy Moose on all social media, or he's on Toku USA's social media. So go find him there. You can find Trenchers. You can back that if you want to support some animal ecology stuff. It's great. On letters and our main artist and our character designer and our guy we've had from the get-go, Gaspar Flores. He did the first two short stories. He did the A cover. He did the C cover. He did the Atomic Man versus Nebulon print. Gaspar Flores is great. He's also in South Carolina. He lives like 10 minutes from Hunter. It was wild when we found that out.
Wow.
That was such a small world when we found that out. Great artist. I found him on Instagram years ago. I had done like a commission work for a fan fiction I was working on. I was working on a Power Ranger fan fiction back then because I'm a super nerd. And I got all my Rangers.
Hey, we've all written fan fiction, and some of us are still technically writing fan fiction, but
yep. And so we I got him to do a work on that. And then one day when we started doing like this, like wanting to do going from Supergroup and getting ready to do Nebulon, I was like, oh, I have an artist in mind. I reached out, I'm like, hey, do you want to do comic book art? And he's like, I've never done it before. I'm like, want to try? He's like, yeah, sure. And he jumped on. He's been with us for the last couple of years. We have a new colorist, Jack Lanahan. CJ just unfortunately just couldn't finish the colors for the series. So if you back the original preview book, he was the original colorist on the short stories and the preview book. Just because of timing and everything, he just couldn't come on the book for issue 1 and currently the future of the book. So I reached out to a longtime friend and former customer of mine, and current customer of mine.
Mm.
A lot of it revolves around the comic shop. Jack Lenahan, who we've joked around about trying to find a project we can work on, and he jumped at the chance, and he's been hitting out of the park. We just let him go and do his own thing, and the stuff he produces is immaculate. I love his art. He also currently did a book called Into the Foundry, which is a mix of heavy metal and like medieval, like high fantasy stuff. It's cool. That's on Global Comics, so go check that out. And then we have an actual editor, because we didn't have an editor kind of for the first 2 short stories. And then we found one from the comic shop. Again, Andrew's Amazing Comics is where I found 90% of my crew. We found that in Travis Cutter. He's a phenomenal editor. He cleans up all my grammar and nonsense and my periods and my misspellings and goes, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. Fix this. And I go back and fix it. He like printed the press. He created the press release. He created all the cool stuff, like behind the scenes stuff. He goes over everything, makes sure me and Hunter aren't being dodos when we like write stuff. He's so cool to work with. He updates. He's the one that's doing a lot of the updates on the Kickstarter. If you see like the updates, some of the updates going out, or if you see like some add-ons and the page itself he re-edited, he's amazing to work with. So that's my team.
All righty. So I don't know how much we talked about this before, so feel free to go a little crazy with this.
Yeah, go ahead. That's me anything.
Who is Nebulon?
So, spoilers for those who don't know yet. Nebulon is a henshin hero created in the vein of, I don't want to kind of do all that, but Nebulon himself is a henshin hero set in a post-invasion Earth. We decided to stop calling it like post-apocalyptic, because it's not an apocalypse, just post-invasion. Who is traveling from Arizona to Spiral City / Manhattan to overthrow the God King Terex. Why he does stuff and who he is, it's all in issue 1. But if you've read the preview book, you kind of know who he is. If you've read the preview pages, you kind of know who he is. He's our savior scavenger Jono. But how he goes from scavenger to hero, you get to see all in issue 1. I love this story a lot. It's a blend of who they kind of like a tale of be careful who you trust and type of thing, and trauma bonding mixed with like cool henshin hero, the explosions and attacks and fun stuff. And it's just a really cool story that I hope you guys will love, that has a lot of heart and a lot of action. So yeah.
You've made some. We'll get it. I have a question about influences and things like that, but which we'll get to. But I remember when you were promoting the preview book, you were making some interesting comparisons here, and now I've heard you on some other podcasts and on your own podcast talking about this and making some other interesting comparisons. And when I wrote I've got the first draft done of the review, I was drawing more comparisons that you weren't, which I want to get into a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little bit of a preview of the review. And you likened Jono and Nebulon, because that's how I'm interpreting it, is that Jono is our human protagonist, and then Nebulon is the hero.
Yes.
And you were comparing it to Eddie Brock and Venom, which I thought was interesting. So for the comic book readers.
Yes. I draw a lot of comparisons to Venom for multiple reasons. I see the relationship between Mayette and Jono as a symbiotic one. I always in my head read the story of Venom as a story about a relationship. And this is kind of to mimic that and homage that idea of like this is a relationship.
If that's the case, that Venom symbiote is the most unfaithful girlfriend ever.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
It's true.
If I was to go into Deadpool mode right now, he would have some choice words about what he thinks of the Venom symbiote.
Absolutely. I liken it a lot to the Venom symbiote story, where it's like they are bonded together because of trauma. They are bonded together because of a massive trauma that happens, and now they have to live together. And with them working together, they form this bigger hero in Nebulon. So that's why I see that a lot in Venom. Like Peter and the symbiote, or Eddie and the symbiote, on their own or separate people, but together they are Venom, the Lethal Protector. They are Venom, the King in Black.
All Venom.
Yeah, they use the word "we." It's not Carnage, where it's I, but yes.
Yeah,
100%.
I know. But I'm a weird. Like you, I grew up in the 90s, and that,
Yep.
and Venom was huge in the 90s. So
Yes.
I'm a stickler for the first person plural with my Venom.
Yes.
You
Yes.
know, and when I've seen adaptations where he says I, he's like, no,
Doesn't say
you
I.
are wrong.
Always we. Always we.
Carnage can do I. That's fine.
Absolutely.
But Venom, but speaking of the preview book,
Yes.
what from the preview book is in this? And related question, how did you expand off of it? Obviously, well, the spoiler free, of course.
Yes. So the preview book, we're taking the first 5. So the preview book actually contained the first 5 pages of Nebulon. So we took the first 5 pages from there, and then we just expanded it going forward. So a lot of this issue is the backstory of Jono and Jono and his brother Davis, as they go out and do their normal Arizona-based scavenger stuff, and then how and why Jono is Nebulon. You know, we added some stuff. There's a cold opening that sets up the back stuff. A lot of the first 2 issues are backstories, or flashbacks, to between the time of being Nebulon and current timeline. But yeah, so we took that story and expanded on that by going, all right, cool. You know what? This is going to be the origin of Nebulon told in flashback, so no one has to worry. We're good to go. You know, going forward.
Yeah. Which was when because I've read the preview issue. That was it reminded me, again, this is a preview of of my review. It reminded me of, I guess you could say, a particular story structure in Japanese stories. I've seen it in tokusatsu, I've seen it in anime, it's in manga, and it's an interesting way of doing it, which is the writer will take the audience, and it's like a variation off of in media res, but it will just drop them into the world, and you're just like, you're getting immersed in it, you are experiencing it. And then in the second chapter, or the second episode, it's like, okay, let us explain what you just saw.
Right.
Which is interesting. And there's a little bit of that here. Obviously, it's done in a single issue, but the first couple of pages, it's like the present for Nebulon. And you see Jono and Nebulon going around doing their thing. And then that ends on a little bit of a cliffhanger, and then flashback. And so it's the only thing missing would be like Jono saying, so you might be wondering how I got here.
Exactly. And it's like, we could have done that, but like it would have been too jokey for us to do that.
Yeah, that's one of those, it's one of those tropes that has been overused to the point of parody. You know, it's like starting your story off with, it was a dark and stormy night. That was a legitimate way to do things at one point. It is not anymore.
No, it is not.
So yeah, so as it is, it actually works pretty well. You don't do the thing like the life flashing before your eyes sort of a thing or anything like that. It just cuts.
Yes.
And I'm itching to see that resolve, because I was a little annoyed when I got to the end of the preview issue. I'm like, that's it.
Yep, there is way more.
I thought this was 24 pages.
Yeah, I know, right?
What where's the rest?
Exactly. It's so much more than what people think. It's going to be, the first issue is meant to set up a lot. It's a way cooler origin story than I originally imagined it to be. Thanks a lot to having a co-writer that can bounce ideas off of. And I love everything about where we're going now with it. I'm sorry, for everyone that doesn't know, a lot of people got to read a preview copy of this issue. that doesn't have the finale in it. Sorry, guys, to keep spoiler free. um, so yeah, some of you guys don't know exactly how the issue ends, but I promise you, we did that for spoiler reasons, so people don't leak things. We did one reveal on Kaiju Cast last week. Because
You
we
went
happened.
on Kaiju Cast.
Yes, we were on Kaiju Cast last week. Yes.
The
Or,
actual Kaiju Cast. What?
yes. Yes, we were on
What?
Kaiju Cast last week. Yes.
That
Yes.
show's been relaunched?
I
What?
guess so. I don't know. They follow me. I like them. They're cool.
So you met with Kyle Yount?
Oh no. No. So it's another show. It's by Russ. He runs it through Kaiju United. It's like tied into Kaiju United now.
Oh, okay. Then
Yes.
isn't it just the Kaiju United podcast? Because I can't imagine it would be called Kaiju Cast.
It's still called Kaiju
Anyway,
Cast. I'm surprised. Yeah, I know. Legalese.
I was gonna say I hope they talk to Kyle Yount about that. But anyway,
Yeah, no, we were on that, and we have to reveal one really cool spoiler-ish thing on it. So I will do it. I've done it. Like, it's cool. So we got one spoilish thing there.
Okay.
If we get to 25% by the end of this episode, I'll reveal another spoiler here.
Oh, so now everyone's gonna like, Marchan, keep talking.
Yeah, because I mean, we're only at 23% right now.
Yeah. There you go. All right. So I there's two questions that I could go to from there, but I'm gonna go with this one since we've
Cool.
already hinted at it, and it makes more sense to talk about this and then start expanding out. And that is, what were your influences for Nebulon, and how did they affect the story?
So I've like talked in length about Venom being a big one, specifically Donny Cates' run on Venom has been a big influence. Also,
Oh, when was that run?
that was 2 runs ago because Al Ewing's doing it now. So I want to say 2025. So I want to say 2021.
Okay.
I think 2021. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah,
It's
all
been-
the symbiote stuff is just so
It's-
convoluted
it's
anymore. I
been-
gave up on it.
It's been one long run. That's why. So I'm like, it's technically the same story. They haven't stopped the story. It's just like a different writer's taking over the same story, except for All New Venom. So yeah, Venom was a big influence on that. Of course, my love for Power Rangers, in particular, is a huge influence, and specifically the Magna Defender.
Yes, I do want to showcase that a little bit because he is. You've mentioned this on some of your other podcast appearances. He is the biggest influence on the design of Nebulon.
Yes.
I want to bring him up here. You would not believe how difficult it was to find decent screenshots of him because
it's awful.
if I just do an image search for Magna Defender, I get more pictures of the toys than I do the actual show, which just boggles my mind. And I didn't just want to do profile pictures or whatever. So, I was like, you know what? We'll go with this one.
Yep. So yeah, he's a huge influence on. If you look, you can definitely tell like a lot of Nebulon comes from Grand Bull / Magna Defender. The fact that he's a Cosmic Knight is all like my love.
By the way, for those who don't know, this is a character from Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, and his Sentai counterpart, Bull Black, I think is what his name is. Bull Black is from the corresponding Super Sentai series, which is
Gingaman.
Seiju. I'm going to get the whole title. Seiju Sentai Gingaman. I gotta play my Toku nerd.
Oh yeah, exactly, right. You got to show it off so people think that's not fake.
Seiju Sentai Gingaman. So
yes, but yes, he's a huge influence on because I like the idea because he was the more adult character on the show, and I wanted to tell more of an adult story. And he was a huge inspiration. That kind of like
very tragic character.
Yes, and so is Nebulon. You read issue 1, so that's why like he's a huge influence. Specifically, like Magna Defender is a huge influence, not just design but like character based wise. And even like the kind of bond he has with the bond he has with Mike later on in the series in Lost Galaxy is very inspired. Nebulon's very I've took a lot of that into Nebulon.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, other influences would be things like Kamen Rider, specifically the lone Henshin Heroes type of stuff. And like I said, Venom, Megan the
Mm-hmm.
Defender, and you kind of put them all in the blender.
Yeah. Speaking of Kamen Rider,
Yes.
there is a specific Kamen Rider when I was reading this first issue that I immediately thought of. And I
Okay.
don't know if this was intentional by you guys or not. And it's specifically with Nebulon's transformation.
Okay.
And I'm going to bring him up here. Longtime listeners and all that will not be surprised by this because he is still one of my favorite Kamen Riders. And I bring this up in my Kaiju United review as well. Kamen Rider Black.
Okay, cool. So, yes, because I grew up with the show when it wasn't black, when it was like.
Well, no, that was based on Kamen Rider Black RX,
Yes,
which was
sorry,
the
yes.
sequel series.
Yes.
This is the original Kamen Rider Black. And I'm specifically thinking of him not only because of the pose, which is why I specifically was like, I want to find a picture of him posing, but more specifically, after he transforms, he's steamy.
Yes.
Yeah, he is literally there is steam coming off of him after he finishes his transformation. And when Nebulon transforms, not only is he posing like that, I saw steam coming off, and I'm like, "Oh, you're Kamen Rider Black. I like this."
Yeah. That wasn't even intentional. That was actually my artist doing all that stuff. He added like the pose and the steam coming off of him. That wasn't even like in the original art direction. He added all the cool stuff. So, like he went back and did all the research to see the other stuff. And I was like, wow, he really did like the Toku research. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's the one that it got me. I got really excited when I saw that. It's like, so I don't know if that was intentional or not, but that's how I interpreted it. And this kind of goes without saying, but I'm going to show the picture of it anyway. You were comparing Jono and Nebulon to Venom. I made the tokusatsu connection here, and this is my personal take on it. Jono's got a little bit of Ultraman in him.
Yes. So I love when I hear like people like point out things like I didn't think of when I first was doing this stuff. And like, oh, it reminds me of this. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that's a thing. As much as like I'm a Toku guy, I'm like, oh yeah, Ultraman is very much the same. It's a human and an alien bonding together to become a hero. Mine just doesn't grow.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if Jono's an alien or not. It's another being of some kind. And I'm putting my Ultraman nerd hat on right now. Not every Ultraman in every Ultraman series is technically an alien.
True.
For example, in the 3 big 90s Ultraman shows, which were something of a trilogy, Tiga, Dyna, and Gaia, they are not aliens. They are actually members of an ancient civilization.
Okay. I was like that. I knew that they were all from like the more light. That was like the trope that eventually.
Yes, they are giants of light. They're still called giants of light in Tiga, Dyna, Gaia, but they're not technically aliens. They're from an ancient civilization.
That's fair.
Which was one of the things that made those shows different. But the other thing is, and this is one of the interesting things why I so enjoy Ultraman, is when you have Ultramen who are aliens or another being bonded with a human, because some of them are ultras that take human form.
Right.
Ultra 7, for example, is an ultra who takes human form. But I always find it interesting, the ones that actually have some interaction with their human host. They don't always do it. The original show only had a little bit, and that was in the first episode and kind of in the last episode.
Yeah.
Kinda, but not really, but definitely in the first episode. But I've always find it interesting when I see the ultras having interaction with the human host throughout the show. And that's what I was getting here with Jono and Nebulon, at least in the bit that I was able to see. There's actual interaction going on between them. Although what I did see in the preview issue very much reminded me of, say, the first episode of the original Ultraman,
Yeah.
where that Ultraman says, "Hey, I'm going to save your life, but to do that, I must bond with you.
Yes.
And then we can, become Ultraman and go fight monsters and stuff like that." Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Now, the circumstances for Jono are a bit different.
Yeah.
But it's there.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. It is. Like, it wasn't when we wrote it. It wasn't. I wasn't thinking Ultraman. I was thinking Venom. Like Battle World, Peter Parker with symbiote, Eddie Brock in the church, symbiote bonding thing. Yeah, I love when people can see other things that I completely missed. I'm like, oh yeah, that is a part of kind of what I was going for.
Yeah, it might be because I was in Toku brain mode,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just rewatched the original Ultraman not too long ago, and I have been partaking of a lot of Ultraman stuff.
Right.
Recently I've been watching Omega every week and stuff like that. Although Omega is an Ultra who takes human form. So
yeah.
So it's a little different, but I would still say it's there.
Absolutely.
All right. So you're not just working. I think we talked a bit about this with the preview book, and you've hinted at it a bit during this conversation. You're not just working on one character in one comic. You're going all in on this. You are making a shared comic book universe.
Yes.
Which is why you made that preview book. So how does this first issue affect the larger Toku USA universe?
Cool. So, thank you for I love that question because it's like my weird nerd brain loves like timelines and lore and like canon. So how it works is this: we are planning on printing each series out of timeline order. So because I work at a shop, I understand like how retail for comics works. Is like any comic could be someone's first comic, so you don't want to be like, and here's
the Stan Lee philosophy,
right? You can't be like, I need to read all this to understand that. So that's why we're kind of doing it in waves in different series. Nebulon being our flagship character, we wanted him to go first. So for timeline purposes, it's not the earliest book in the timeline, but it's the first and main book of the timeline in the universe. This is the linchpin for a lot of other stories that come afterwards. Anything that happens before that book will be noted. It's like, oh, hey, this takes place before Nebulon 1, but this is the linchpin book. And this is the book that has the most impact on the universe going forward.
Okay. Yeah, because the preview book, you had the stories, some of the stories would kind of reference, maybe not specifically the stories, but the characters in them a little bit. So you guys have been doing some world building, and that's exciting. And I hope you don't abandon it, because like I remember famously Image Comics tried it for a while and then they just gave up.
Yes.
And part of it was because of just the nature of Image Comics, is everything's creator owned and they just want to do their own thing.
Yeah, it's too many cooks in the kitchen type of thing.
Yeah, which is a little unfortunate. I don't know. I'm gonna get a little bit personal here for a moment, if people can indulge me. But this was one of the most baffling things that I experienced when I was in grad school. So I took a fiction writing class, and it had both graduate students and undergraduate students in it. I was one of the graduate students. The professor wanted to do a project at the end of the semester where we had to work on something as a class, because she wanted to do collaborative storytelling. And I was like, oh, I like this idea. I've done stuff like this with some of my writer friends. This will be cool. So we were trying to figure out what the connection would be. And, so we're like, is it going to be a shared setting? Is it going to be a shared character or, or whatever? Similar idea or theme or whatever. So we're hashing all this out. But I was in the minority of people who was excited about this. Everybody else was like, I don't want to do this. That's going to be too creatively confining. And I'm like, what is wrong with you people?
I know.
Did nobody tell you that creativity thrives best with limitations?
Yes, absolutely.
That's one of the things that just really gets to me. Because I'm going to, especially in Hollywood, well, really any of the mainstream entertainment, but I see it most in Hollywood, where they just feel the need to just throw stuff out because they're like, we don't want to be burdened by this mountain of lore or continuity or whatever. We just want to start over. And I'm like, why is this a problem?
I know.
I mean, I get it. You know, it's possible you might end up missing something and there's a contradiction, but you're telling me there aren't people who can help you with that and can edit your scripts or whatever
Like
to make sure it all fits. Come on, there are enough nerds out there who, for a modest fee, will be your lore masters.
Yes,
and will take care of that for you. I don't know. It just boggles my mind because they think they have to be completely. They have to be completely quote unquote unburdened by that.
Like, it's a very fine line.
Why? Yeah,
because it is a very fine line between being able to tell the stories you want and then being locked in because of continuity. The wonderful part about building the universe that we did was that anybody we've ever asked to join to be part of that wants to tell a story within the universe of Nebulon, we allow them to pitch the story and then we fit their story into the narrative however we could. If there was small fixes, we do it. But for the most part, I'm like, no, it's your book, your story. I will make it work because I control continuity.
Yeah.
Like I will make whatever fit if unless it's completely bonkers, like I will make it fit. And that's one of the big things about creating this stuff. And going back to the question, is that being able to create a whole universe I love it. I've been wanting to do this forever. It's one of my big dreams as a comic book writer and a comic book fan is to create my own little universe to play in. And every story has a touch of their creator in it. Like for Nebulon, like it's a lot of me and a lot of my focus first over Hunter's. With Project K, it's the opposite. It's a lot of Hunter's story, and a lot of like my back input, but it's a Hunter story forward. Masra is completely Gaff's story with me fixing like continuity stuff. Travis is writing a story for us, set in space actually. And it's all his story with just like my little here's kind of like lore bits that we didn't put in any other book because it just doesn't fit in any other book, but this is what you need to know kind of thing to make it not bounce backwards. So yeah, we have all that set and it's really cool.
Yeah. I am thinking I did something similar because it's crazy to think that it's been almost a year now, but last fall I did a special episode of Power Rangers, the audio drama that I produced completely myself. I joked that I Mel Gibson did this crap, which I exactly did. Like other than play the other characters, I did everything on this episode, and it's this big Rito Bandora origin episode. So it's basically my vanity project.
Yeah.
But when I was scripting it, I was, I've sent every draft to Carl Dutton, who is the showrunner for the show, so he can make sure everything worked and it fit in with what he had already built with the show. It's his sandbox. So I wanted to make sure I was respectful of that fact. He gave me a lot of freedom, and because there was enough gaps in there that I had a lot to play with, but I also had to make sure that it fit in still had to fit in with what Carl had already done.
Right.
So I take it as a challenge, and I think it's fun. I don't find it to be limiting. Now, if I'm working with an editor or whatever who's an absolute tyrant and who's basically just dictating to me what the story is going to be, I might be a little more resistant to that.
Of course.
But I like I said, I love the challenge of it.
Oh yeah, it's fun. It's really fun playing in the universe, creating your own universe, creating stories. There's another story that we have it we kind of soft announced on and off, or kind of hinted at with another character that plays in the universe, but it has to bounce off another one. And yeah, it's cool. It's really cool. It's just fun, like building stuff and going like, these are the ideas. This is how the world works. This is how everything's kind of tied in. Stuff that happens in this will affect this book, type of thing. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. All right. Now we got to get to one of the cruxes of why you're here. Let's talk about your Kickstarter.
Cool.
I'm gonna bring the Kickstarter page up here right now, and just for fun, I'm gonna hit the refresh page, see if you got a few more pledges in here. Not yet.
Not yet.
But yeah, but how long is the Kickstarter going?
So it's 30 days. We are at the time of recording, it's September 11th, so we're just about halfway through. Not even. Not next week. We'll be halfway through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not quite half.
No.
Because you started on September 1st.
Yes. So we're only 11 days in at the time of recording. It's going to run for 30 days. It ends October 1st, technically.
Okay.
October 1st, technically. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so, yeah, let's, sorry, you have something else to say?
No, good.
I was just to say, let's talk about your perks, because I was going to ask, what are your perks? You've mentioned some of them already, but we've got them over here. So you got stuff like, you can get the first cover for $5, a PDF. I love the multiple options at the same price level, which I think is very cool, as opposed to this ascending order.
Yeah,
there's still an ascending order, but that you get multiple options at the same levels.
Exactly.
We did $5, you get a PDF.
We did it so people could be like, all right, I just, for PDF purposes, like the Supergroup one, we don't have, it's like, oh, hey, I don't want to buy a copy of this book that I'm doing it as an extra. I'll get that because I want the Nebulon book in hand, but I'll read the other one digitally on my phone. If I like it, I'll go back and get it, for Supergroup. What else stuff do we have for stuff? Oh, we have Nebulon. It's the PDF. It's the A cover. That's $5. You can go get that. You have the PDF of the World of Nebulon, which was the preview book. That is $5. That's a standard edition. There's a reason why it's called standard edition. The back 5 pages are in black and white, which are the first 5 pages of Nebulon itself. You have the $5 Supergroup PDF. That's our other book that me and Hunter wrote. Kind of hey, I missed that Kickstarter. I want to get it here. Or, hey, I want to check that book out. It's in PDF form only. We have the $10 World of Nebulon Deluxe Edition, which includes character profiles in the voice of X, who's one of our characters from Project K, kind of breaking down all the characters that exist in the Nebuverse at that time. Also includes a map of the United States, of how and like where all the characters are located and how it works, how the map works. And then you get into our physical stuff. We have
we love physical media around here.
Yes, before we get to physical media, there is 2 things that I don't know. Because it was a higher price point, but it is the PDF of Unknown Heroes Volume 1 and the PDF of Unknown Heroes Volume 2, which were the first appearances of Nebulon and Kaiju Man, and the first appearance of Project K is in the PDF of Unknown Heroes Volume 2. Those were anthologies that me and Hunter got to be part of, showcasing a bunch of different stories. That's why they're a little bit pricier. There's a lot more content in them. So now on to physical media. We have Nebulon, Night of Justice A cover. That is done by Gaspar Flores. The A cover's picture's not there because it came up weird when we were trying to upload stuff. But if you want to scroll down the main page, it's actually on the main part of the Kickstarter. A little bit further down. I'm looking at the art.
Some preview pages there.
Yep.
People want to get an idea what we have. I love this little Easter egg, by the way.
Yes. Thank you. I love that Easter egg also. That was all Gaspar.
Yeah.
Like that's all
for those who can't quite see, I don't know how in this world, but Jono is reading X-Men number 135,
Yes.
which is the iconic Dark Phoenix cover.
Yes, it's an Easter egg for multitudes of reasons. But if you want to scroll down, I'll talk about the covers real quick.
Also, I just want to point this out. This will be in my review. I love how the sword kind of breaks the fourth wall and cuts the onomatopoeia.
Yes, that's again, Gasol Letterer. He did a fantastic job with it. So
Here it is.
that is our A cover. That was not designed by me or Hunter at all. That was all Gasper on his own. He was like, I had pitched him an idea for the cover. He goes, I tried to do this. How about I do this instead? And he sent me like a draft. And I'm like, this is way better than any idea I've ever had. Go for it. And I love it. The B cover, it was drawn by Common Drawer Amish. I love that cover so much. He's known for doing Common Rider art. That's his like forte. He does just art of Common Riders. He does like a lot of custom Common Rider stuff. Love it. I reached out and he was like, hey, yeah, sure. And he's like, definitely hit me up for future stuff. And the C cover we talked about a ton of time. That's also another cover done by Gasper. That is $10 each for the A and B. And the C cover is 15, I think.
15, yes.
15, yes, 15. Because it is our collector's edition.
Makes me glad I jumped at that one then.
Yes, because like I said, is only printed for this campaign and will not be printed ever again. Next up, we have our prints, which is all again physical.
This is the one I got because I'm a sucker.
I
grew up playing Mega Man, so I'm like,
and that's exactly what it was. So I reached out to Kingmaster 13. I was like, and he's known for his like focus is sprite art, and I was like, hey, can you do a print in like the style of Mega Man #1, the game screen? And he was like, yeah, sure. And I'm like, here's like the logo, and here's like the characters like design sheet for Nebulon, and it's kind of what I want. And he's like, yeah, sure. And he sent me that. And I was like, I love this so much. Me and Hunter have been talking about trying to get like a sprite game done in like as a future project type of thing. But I love this print because I am also a big Mega Man fan. And I love it. It's like the 16-bit version of him standing there as the normal, the difficulty setting, the press start, the Nebulon logo in 16-bit format.
You should have added a really funny like third difficulty that's supposed to be like stupid hard or something like that. Because some games will get funny.
Yes.
Those. But the most recent example I can think of, and this was a difficulty I had to unlock while playing the game, but I played RoboCop Rogue City.
Okay.
And it has like, easy, normal, hard, and then the one you unlock is called There Will Be Trouble.
Oh no.
Which cracked me up. Or Ninja Gaiden did the opposite, where if you died, I think like if you died 3 times playing the first level, which even though the game is supposed to be hard, I think they intentionally make the first level pretty easy. And if you die 3 times, you unlock a difficulty called Ninja Dog.
Oh.
That's even easier than easy mode.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you got this nice little black and white print as well. I'm only highlighting this one because that's the one I got.
Oh, I love that one. Yeah, so the video game one, that's $10. We have what's called the Campfire print. That is the early days. That actually is a print meant to be like that's right before issue 1 takes place. So that is an in-canon print that exists just as a standalone. Like, I like it because it's the two of them. It's a really just a cool thing, and after you read issue 1, it's gonna mean a lot more. That is $10. That was also drawn by Gasper. Yeah, that was $10. What is next?
It's the Funko looking thing.
So we can't legally call it a Funko image. So it's a vinyl figure Nebulon print. So I reached out to Popeyes, and what they do is they take images of characters and they turn them to like little vinyl figures. They're great. They're cute. I love it. I hope someone can figure out how to 3D print me one. I want one so bad.
It's funny that you bring that up. I don't know if he's around anymore because when I met him, it was pre-COVID.
Right.
But there was a guy I bumped into at a couple of conventions that I was tabling at, where his thing was he made basically custom vinyl sculptures in the Funko style.
Oh, I love that.
So people would come to him and they'd be like, "Hey, this character's never had a Funko. Can you make it for me?" He said, "Yes." Now, because it would be a one of a kind piece, it would cost you like $75,
Right.
for him to
But
make it, but he would go all out. It would be he would carve it, he would paint it, all that kind of stuff. At one point, once I scrounged up the money, I was going to have him do the Mothra fairies.
oh, nice.
Yeah, and because of like he's like, yeah, I could actually save some money because all you have to do is just like reverse the design a little because they have the version I was going to have him do. They wore these little dresses, and the way one way you could tell them apart is that they had each of them only had one shoulder strap, but it was
Yeah,
on a
it's
different
mirrored.
shoulder.
Yeah, it's mirrored. Yeah.
Yeah, so it would it'd be mirrored. So it's like he could do that. I was gonna have him do one of my own book characters as one. Now that I know this, if I ever meet him again, I probably would have him do Rito because Rito's never had a Funko.
Exactly.
I have a Johnny Storm Funko, and there's 10 million Deadpool Funkos.
Right.
But there's no Rito Funko. I need a Rito Funko in my life. As far as I know, Rito's only ever had 2 action figures made, and I own both of them.
Yeah, because one's the movie version, one's the regular.
No, it's not the movie version.
Oh wow.
No, one was the original Bandai.
Yeah.
Although that was in 2 figure lines. It was in like a Mighty Morphin line, and then it was in the Zeo line, but it was the exact same toy.
Okay.
And Super 7.
Fair.
Super 7 made one of those 3-inch figures. Those are the only Rito figures that I know of. If anybody knows about it anymore, let me know and I'm going to buy them. But I would love to have a Funko Rito. It would be funny. Anyway.
So that's $10 for the Funko for the vinyl figure print.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course,
here's the one you were talking about.
Yes, a Nebulon vs. Atomic Man print. That's also $10. It is our 2 characters from 2 of our books that me and Hunter have created, fighting out, or maybe doing crossover in the future. Who knows? Let's see.
My only question looking at this is, how can Nebulon fly? I don't know if he could fly.
Fun. I think he's just jumping really high.
I was going to say, I don't believe he's jumping because Spider-Man is jumping.
Yes.
I think.
Nebulon can't fly. Yeah. Nebulon can't fly.
I was going to say, that's not part of his power set.
No, it is not.
And then here's some stretch goals if you want to talk about them a little bit.
So we have our stretch. So we have a couple of things, other tiers that aren't like imaged because we just know images for it. So we have a print bundle, which gives you the 4 prints just by itself. That's $35. We have the bundle of covers, which gives you.
Oh yeah, I'll scroll down through here. Yeah. Here's Unknown Heroes. Yeah.
Yep. Unknown Heroes 2 because it's in
cover C
price order, which is weird.
Print bundle. Yeah.
Yep, which gives you all the prints together, and that's $35. Next would be the bundle of covers, which gives you all 3 covers, and the PDF of issue 1. That's $40. You have collector's tier, which gives you the A cover, the PDF of issue 1, and all the prints. So it kind of gives you like a standard cool Nebulon package together. For $45, there is the Toku USA Studios digital bundle, which gives you all the PDFs. If you're like, hey, I just want all these comics digitally, I get it. You don't have space in your house. You don't have space in your long box. You're like, I want to get all this. I want to read it all digital. That's $50, and you get any PDF that we have. You got them. It's all the books that were produced by us.
Mm-hmm.
You have the next tier, which is the $75
Unleashed.
Unleashed tier.
Yeah, because that's Nebulon's Henshin command, which I really like. It's hard to come up with.
It was so hard.
An original Henshin command.
It was so hard, and then we had to think of it for other characters that are coming in the series, and you're like, oh no. So this is our one of our big tiers. This gives you the A, B, C cover. It gives you all the prints and the PDF of issue 1.
Yeah, this
So
is for the people who like, I'm buying all the variant covers.
plus, I want all the prints. This gives me everything. All gives me all the physical stuff. So if you're big into physical media, that's the one you want. For $100,
I love this one. This one was very tempting, I have to admit.
I
But
mean, you have
I'm like,
time. You have
you
you have time to change it. You have time to change it to the end of the
like
month.
that's an extra $100. Oh my gosh! But
This one gives you
you'll be super mean. It's like, here's issue 2. Hey, look, there's Marchand. He just got eaten by a monster.
maybe. So you have for $100 you get to draw it into Nebulon. This allows you to be drawn into a future issue of Nebulon. The only thing we ask is that you don't bring your OCs in.
Original characters.
Yeah, original character. Then, but it could be anything. You just be if you want to put your pet in there, or if it's you want a picture of like.
We won't feed you to the monsters, but your dog is not safe.
Exactly. Like you want to put your a picture of a parent in there instead. We will draw them in there.
How about my ex-girlfriend?
It's your money.
Feed her to the monster. That's probably a lawsuit waiting to happen. So
absolutely. But you get drawn into a future issue, and you get an A cover of the current issue, and you get a PDF of the current issue. So you do get something. You still get a physical and a digital copy of the current issue, plus being drawn into a future issue. 120 for next one up. We have a retailer tier. So if you want your comic shop to carry this book for $125, they get 25 copies of the book, plus they get an early PDF edition of the book sent to them. So they can read it, and it would be a full copy. It would be the full edition of the book that will be done before we go to print anyway. So they can see it, read it, understand it. They can sell it to their customers, their staff, stuff like that. And you get 25 copies of the A cover. We might change that towards the end. But it's right now it's currently only for United States retailers, comic book retailers only. Just because it would cost so much to ship that to someone, I don't think it's fair to be like, it's another $125 for you to get it overseas. It's not fair. That's why we're kind of making it retailer only for the United States. But if you are listening and you have a comic shop in your area, please stop down, give them this, tell them how much. It'd be great. It would help us a lot. So yeah, that'd be great. And then you have our biggest tier ever. That gives you everything. Night of Justice all in tier. That gives you all the PDFs, all the covers, all the prints, and you get drawn into the comic book. So that's our huge tier. That is $250. If you're like, I want it all, I want to be drawn in, I want all the prints, I want all the PDFs, I want it all. That's a big tier. Get that book. It's awesome.
You want it all, just like Queen.
Yeah, exactly.
I want it all, and I want it now.
What's really cool about this, though, is that if you back, you can add, a lot of the stuff is add-ons, so you can go and add stuff. So, like, if you want an A cover and you want a print, you want a C cover and a print, you want 2 prints, and a cover, you want just a PDF and one of the prints or all the prints. These are all add-ons, except for the drawn-in and like the big bundle tiers. Those are not add-ons because it just doesn't make sense. So yeah, you can just go do that. So you can mix and match and kind of get what you want.
Well, there you go. That's crazy. When I saw the thing about getting drawn into the comic, like, oh no.
Yeah, for $100 you can get drawn in, and it's you. We're not gonna we are kind of hard pressed to be like, we will let you know when we're at that stage. Because all we do is we require like a headshot or a body shot of you. We just give it to our artist. It will be in it. He'll let us know what page it's gonna be on. When that book is out, we'll tell you what page you're on and stuff like that.
Yeah, my friend Daniel DeManna, who runs the Godzilla novelization project, and he's actually about to have his own book of essays published next February. It's called G Cinema. So if you want to get a nice book of Godzilla movie essays, go pre-order G Cinema on Amazon. And he has a Patreon, and one of the tiers for his Patreon is he will basically give you a cameo in one of his novelizations.
That's cool.
He'll be like some bit character someplace. You get a little cameo. And I told him I've been at that tier for a while just because he's a great friend and I really believe in his project. And I said, like, okay, I'm gonna jump to that tier, and here's what I want. He hasn't done it
Exactly.
yet, but I know he's got it written down that I'm gonna be in there. So it'd be great.
It's so cool though. But yeah, I want that option because I'm like, yeah, I would love to be in a comic book or in something I supported that I liked, and it's cool. So that's actually someone back to like the first day, like one of the first backers was like, oh, cool. I guess they really want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, the funny thing is, I mean, I could be selfish and not do that, because if I do the Crystal Lady comic, the fictionalized version of me from the podcast is going to be a supporting character in that.
yeah, exactly. So
But
I mean,
but
wink,
hey, maybe I'll add something else on top
come
of
on,
it.
Nate.
Who knows?
It's a
Yeah.
multiverse. You never
It's a
know.
multiverse. Yeah. Yeah. I get what you're saying. But this could actually be like real Nate, not MIFV Nate. That's the distinction I make. I know people are a bit reticent nowadays about quote unquote self-insert characters. So, but that's why I tell everybody it's like, okay, he's not actually me. It's a fictionalized version of me, and I just treat him as a character like I do everybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have these stretch goals. So right now, if we hit 50 physical backers, so what we did for the preview book is we made a Nebulon trading card. So we're going to do that for every campaign. Will be a brand new trading card. So in order to collect them all, you have to back every campaign. So this one will have a brand new trading card or two, depending on how far we get. So it will be for 50 physical backers. We're going to get a brand new trading card done, and everybody that backs it gets this trading card. 2,000 is our goal. At 2,250, which is a weird number, we're giving a bookmark out, which is probably going to be the sword. You're going to get the sword as a bookmark.
He's got a serious anime sword going on there.
It actually
big old Buster sword there. It's not quite Cloud Strife levels of huge, but it's huge.
Yes. In the art note, it said, in parentheses, big sword anime style. I'm like, yeah, duh. At 2,500, we're doing a Friends Digipack. It's another digital like add-on. So you're going to go to get a bunch of comics from our friends that have also written comics. They're like, hey, check their stuff out. It's a way to pimp out our friends and a way to spread more comic books to people, and you guys get more free comic books just to have. I think right now it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. 5 people. Super Guy from Tony Inacio, Into the Foundry from Jack Lanahan, Euphoria from Eric O'Connor, and when we transform from Tommy.
Oh, Tommy Trembeth, yes. Friend of the podcast.
Yes, we reached out to her and she was like, yeah, absolutely. At 2,750, these numbers are weird and arbitrary because these are arbitrary numbers.
These are in quarters.
Yeah. We're doing sticker set. It's gonna be a 3-pack sticker set, which is the Nebulon logo, the Toku USA logo, and the little shippy head that was the original logo created by Nick Aranja.
This right here?
Yes. That you get as a sticker. Everyone gets a sticker. And then at 3,000, you get a little Nebi print, which was actually created by CJ, our original colorist, in the vein of.
Is that what this is?
Yes. Everyone gets that print in the vein of Calvin Hobbes.
Oh my god!
As it's Nebulon and Mayette doing little cute Nebby stuff. We always joked about doing it as like a backup story, as like a little Nebby as a backup story. Like so,
hey, why not? If you read, I think I can't remember if it's the first and second series or if it's just the first one, but the first, at least the first Marvel Ultraman comic, they had funny little backup stories in the back with Pigmon.
Yeah, because
cutesy.
To explain like how the world works. It's cute.
Yeah, it was like PSAs, Pigmon would go find some junior member of the SSSP, and he would be like, I'm being an idiot and doing something stupid. He's like, Pigmon's like, nope, you can't do that. That's stupid. Yeah. And then something bad would happen to the poor guy, and Pigmon's like, I tried to warn you. you.
And then for printing, we're using Comics Wellspring, like we've done for every single project. They're based right here in the United States. They are in, I want to say Michigan, and I'm completely blanking on where they're at because I've used them for like the last 5 years of printing books. But they're fantastic. I love them. Their books are immaculate. I love how they come out every time. They are perfect to
I
work
do
with.
have the physical copy of the preview book, and I can vouch for it.
Yeah, dude, it's so good. It's so good. But yes. So, yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
that's
and then
just,
there's a little breakdown on your budget and things like
yeah.
that,
So
which
you
is,
guys can
that
see,
it's numbers,
yeah, so you guys can
whatever
see
on it.
like what the money goes to. Like 50% of it's production, which is going to be like when we say production, we don't actually mean cost of creating the book. We've already created the book. That's all of it. That is printing it and shipping it. Everything else is like ancillary stuff that we're still paying off some other stuff and moving some stuff around. So yeah, but the book is done. It's great. I love it. It's cool. I cannot wait to
Mhm.
have it in my hand, but I can't have it in my hand unless you guys get it to 2000.
Yeah, yeah, and then here's you and all the rest of your boys.
Yep.
Here's Hunter.
Yep.
Here's a self portrait of Gasper.
Yep. That's Jack.
Mm-hmm. Your colorist.
Yep, our colorist. Travis refuses to ever have anything on here, which is funny. We're like, hey, give me some info. He goes, no, I'm the behind the scenes guy. I'm like, cool, awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right here. Unleash. And
It's
then
so cool.
you can get a these are the first couple of pages, so you can
Yes.
get an idea of what you're getting into. It's very manga, and there's a lot of manga influence in
Mhm.
here. And again, another little preview of my review. I don't know if this was intentional for you or not. Well, the most obvious example is this right here. I don't know how well people can see it. I don't know if we can zoom in or not, but here's a little Frank Miller homage.
Homage. Yep.
Yeah. With
Oh yeah.
Nebulon jumping down, and that's a reference to the iconic cover of The Dark Knight Returns.
Yes.
And I would make the argument that some of these creature designs give me some Frank Miller energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
don't think
mean,
I don't see the particular images that I'm thinking of.
right. They're
But
not on the preview.
there's like a big burly Garlex in some of these early scenes, and I'm like, he looks like a Frank Miller character.
He's actually inspired by Bosk from Star Wars.
Yeah, that too. But he had like that kind of Frank Miller kind of proportions
Oh
and
yeah,
things
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
He's
Yeah,
meant to
when I
be
was
like a yoked monster. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
He's absolute Batman.
I was just thinking of that. But once I saw this, I was kind of in a Frank Miller mood.
Yeah, everyone that sees that Easter egg, I'm like, I love like seeing everyone point out the Easter eggs and go, that's an homage to this comic book, and that's an homage to that comic book. I'm like, yes, these are all homages to comic books that I love and like the staff loves, and like, yeah,
Mhm.
it's great.
All right. Now for the hard question. I asked you
Yeah.
this before when we did the preview book, so I'm challenging you with it again. Well, get all the way back up here. Keep this just out of curiosity. Let's see what happened. Oh, darn it. But
I
anyway.
know.
All right. Here's the hard question, James. Why should everyone watching and listening support this project?
To be honest, it's not like it's a hard question. It's just like the salesman to me, like, oh, this is why you should do it, and this is the sales thing. It's not a sales thing.
I don't know if you've seen the chat. I just want to highlight these real quick from Jake.
Yeah.
First off, he says, "I don't have space, I make space." And then he
Fair.
says he's going to get cover C later tonight.
That's awesome. Thank you. To be honest, I can do the hard sales pitch BS. Like, you should read it. If you like Power Rangers, go read it. But honestly, I'm doing this because I want to show my daughter that you don't need a college education to make your dreams come true. You can go out there and work hard and make your dreams come true and do it. It's painstaking, it's grueling, it's stressful, but if you do it, it's worth it. And I want to leave something behind for her. And that's why I do these projects.
How old is she?
She's 3. She's turning 4 next.
3. Okay.
She's turning 4 next month. And that's why I do this. I don't. it's not to really like, yeah, I would love to write for Marvel and DC. I would love for this to be my break in and be like, oh, this is fantastic, but if I can make Nebulon forever and do this, I'm happy with that.
Mm.
I
I
just want it to be like my legacy. My
Mhm,
legacy is this for her, and be like, you don't need all this fancy equipment and all this stuff. You don't need tons of money and tons of nonsense. It does just take hard work and heart to
mhm,
make your dreams come true. And I want that
mhm,
for this. And I want people to understand, like, this story is about heart. It's about humanity and striving at the darkest of times. And that's kind of what I want to show people. So,
mhm.
you know,
Yeah,
that's
I
my
admire
stuff
that. I admire that indie pluck. Yeah, I know we talk about, when we're as comic book fans, we talk about how you just said it. The dream would be to work for the big two, and because they've got the characters.
Yeah,
Nothing. Don't not to besmirch the other comic book publishers, but they have the characters.
absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah, we know how those two are run, and so it would be exciting, but at the same time you got to deal with everything else that goes along with that. I've joked for a while that even if I was given the opportunity to write for Marvel, they would immediately kick me out the door because they're like, all right, Marchand, what do you want to do? It's like Spider-Man. It's like, what? I thought
Like,
you
don't.
liked Captain America the best. It's like, yeah, but I'm fixing your mistake. We're because one more day made me rage quit. And
Yeah, a lot of people.
yeah, because that would be the first thing I would do. I would tell them, it's like, I'm fixing one more day. And then they would never let me touch anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would be immediately out the door. I'd probably get blacklisted or something. Although Superman's gonna be in public domain in a couple of years, so
But funny enough, we talk about this at work. The legal loophole, it's gonna be the Golden Age version, which is like the strong man that can jump really high, impervious, super strength version. Same thing with Batman. It's the Batman that kills people that has guns. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, that's my Batman, but sure.
well, yeah. It's
He's
just
my Batwoman, technically.
yeah, the public domain's been getting talked a lot
Yeah.
about a lot the last couple of years as more stuff has been entering it. I've even been talking with some people about potentially doing something Kong related once the first two movies, because they came out the same year, they enter public domain at the same time. So,
Absolutely.
so that could be interesting to say the least in a few years. But I but but you get to do something yourself, you get to build it yourself, and like you said, and this is coming from somebody who has 2 degrees, but I don't necessarily tell people you have to go out and you have to get degrees. You have to prove that you, you don't have to get a piece of paper to prove that you can do something.
Right. Right.
You know,
So like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You don't. It's such gatekeeping. You know what I mean? It's such
Yeah.
gatekeeping, which is why people have been just saying like, "The heck with that noise! I'm going to do it myself." It's harder.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think it's tough to get into something like a Marvel or a DC, yeah, that's tough. But try doing everything on your own.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I wanted. I want to do more and show people that you can do it. I want to show my daughter you can do it. Like, you don't have to, like, no matter, you can make your dreams come true.
Mhm,
And this is kind of that. Like, Supergroup was a fun story. I want to talk about mental health. This is my fan dream.
mhm,
This is my fun. Like, I want to tell a story from me being a kid, now as an adult, be able to tell my version of something I love growing up.
mhm.
Like, and this is how you can actually do it. And that's just kind of my journey. And I'm glad that everyone that jumps on and is along for the ride, is out there and checking it out and stuff like that. And I'm grateful for everyone that's back so far. Whether or not, to be fair, if we make it or not, I'm grateful for every single person that went out there and backed it and did the stuff. And yeah, I hope we make it. I really, really hope that we get there. But yeah, that's just
You've been pushing it hard, and I admire the shameless self promotion.
yeah,
I take that very seriously. I've been in this sort of space for a long time. Basically since I got my first book published.
yeah,
That's basically been me. I've been self publishing or working with small publishers, and for what I've been told, even if I was to, I don't know, get a book contract with Tor,
right,
that's the big science fiction fantasy publisher,
yeah,
one of them. Even if I was to get a contract with them, first off, it would be difficult because they're going to look at me as this untested writer.
yeah,
They're more interested in guaranteed money, so they're going to prefer established names, which is really stupid on their part. But yeah, they would still leave a lot of stuff up to the authors to take
yeah,
care of, from what I have been told.
right.
So
It's a hard road.
some people would tell you, it's like, why bother? Go
Yeah,
do it yourself and keep more of the money.
yeah. It's a harder road, but I'm willing to take the risk and the and put the hours in and the stress in and the not sleeping and the not eating
Mhm.
and the panicking
Mhm.
but also comes with the fun conversations of ideas and getting artwork back and bouncing off things and creating new things with friends and meeting new people, and spreading like kind of my love of comics to other people. I think everyone should read comic books.
We
Like I think
need more. I wish more people read comic books. Well, I take it back. Plenty of people read comic books. They just read the ones from Japan.
yeah. Right? And
That's the problem.
I'll take that for now. I'll take that for now as a win.
People are just gravitating toward manga, and because they're not having as much fun with American comic books, which is really sad.
I know.
To a certain extent, but I understand where they're coming from.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
But that's why you want to highlight stuff like this.
Yeah.
Indie comics have become much more of a thing in the last couple of years. There have been several high profile people who have been successful with their independent comics, and more power to them. I'm hoping that because of them, they're paving the way for people like Toku USA to keep making stuff like this, as humble as it is.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I'm trying.
Hey, you're doing more than a lot of people do.
We're trying. We're
Yeah.
getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah.
So,
let's look to the future a little bit here. What's
cool.
next for Toku USA?
So right now, we have Nebulon, Night of Justice coming out. Going on with that, we have next year. So starting maybe the end of this year, if time allows, we might have one more kind of back end push for the year, but we're not guaranteed yet. But at the start of next year, we have 2 books coming out. We have Supergroup issue 2, and we have Monster. Instead of it being a miniseries, we talked to Gaff. Gaff decided to change it from a 4-issue miniseries to an oversized one-shot. So Monster Origins will be coming out next year. And same thing with Supergroup issue 2 as of right now. And if all is good, Nebulon issue 2 will also be coming out next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and no promises, as I'm still trying to figure out timelines with my schedule.
Yeah.
But that Crystal Lady comic should hopefully be out. And you know what? I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I'll just name drop the title.
Yes.
I won't say anything else, but I'll name drop the title. It's going to be called Crystal Lady versus Mothman.
Which I can't wait. I mean, you've talked about this before off mic and on phone calls, but I know a lot of the story. Nate pitched this to me a while ago. I love it because I'm big into cryptozoology and I love the Mothman. I love the Mothman memes. It fits. Really cool stuff. And this may not be a one shot after I get done with this book. So
I don't know. Someone suggested that I try turning my Crystal Lady audio drama adventures into comics, but we'll see. But
again,
I will confess, I did. This is here's a little bit of an exclusive for you. I will admit some of the inspiration for this has come from the famous Mothman statue from West Virginia, which I swear, like, you look at this, How was this not inspired? How was this not designed by a comic book artist? I'm just saying. Look
Oh,
at this
dude.
thing.
Yeah, I can't wait for it to pop up because if y'all don't know this thing, like it's dope. I love that statue. Yeah, actually funny enough, there was a horror story that me and Hunter wanted to do was Nebulon versus the Mothman. And it was supposed to be one shot for like next Halloween. Because it was like, because he's traveled a lot, and it was supposed to be like an in canon, like him fighting Mothman story that Mothman's like kaiju that exists in like our Nebuverse. So
yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, maybe. People for the most famous part of that not costume, but the most famous part of that statue, and some people have,
What?
I think, go there just to get pictures of that. Is it has very defined glutes.
Yeah. People pay pennies there.
Yeah, like I
Ridiculous.
said, that thing was designed by a comic book artist because it
No.
is super jacked.
Yeah, that was like, why does he have a 12-pack? Doesn't matter. That man looks like he lifts 400 pounds. Like
the part of the Mothman will be played by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
I'm the Mothman. I go to the gym every day so I could go scare people, and then 5 days later, all the bridges collapse.
It's like, what are you doing? A lot.
What's going on?
No, exactly. So,
who are you talking to?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. I was a little confused there. Alrighty. Well, with that, is there anything you would like to, to add about this or Tokyo USA?
So, definitely come out and support. Thank you for everyone that supported so far and hanging out with me for like almost 2 hours with Nate. Listen to me ramble about my love of comic books and my comic book.
I hear a comment from Edwin real quick. Killer Moth's dream body or the poster he keeps somewhere.
True. 100% true. Yeah, so you can check out like Toku USA on all social media as Toku USA_studios on Instagram, X, and Blue Sky. That's all. Follow that. That has all the links to all the goodies. You can follow me on all my personal accounts at VegaLoyalist1226 on all social media, on YouTube, TikTok, X, Blue Sky. I'm there all the time. Same thing. If you want more Tokyo USA stuff, that's also on my personal channel over there. And yeah, shout out to my team. You can check out Gaspar Flores, my artist at Art of Gaff on Instagram. Jack Lanahan at the Art of Jack on Instagram and on Blue Sky. There you can check out Hunter at Scruffy Moose Man or Scruffy Moose on all social medias and follow all of us there. A lot of our links are all on Tokyo USA's main pages, so you can click there and follow whoever you want from there. They are a great team to work with and stuff like that. And yeah, thank you, and hopefully you guys support and spread tokusatsu stuff to your friends. And like I said, if you have a comic book shop by you, please tell them about us. We're looking to get into stores. I only have so much time to be able to reach out to stores on my own. To be able to get people and specifically stores to pick up a book, they need word of mouth. They need people coming in and saying, "Hey, we want this product." So if you are listening and you want that comic, but you know it would sell in your comic book shop, please go to your local comic shop. One, support local comic shops and businesses. They're great. And tell them like, "Hey, buy this book. It's awesome. If you want to listen to all the interviews and any interview I've ever been on, it's all on Kickstarter. It's there. They can check me out there."
Mm-hmm. It's like you read my mind because you didn't read my questions. My last question was going to be, where can people follow you? And
there you go.
Already took care of it. It's like you're a professional.
I know.
Go figure on that.
Right.
Yeah. All right. And everybody, I've put the link to the Kickstarter in the description of this video. I'll put it in the show notes for the audio versions. And well, you got my support, brother.
Thank you so much.
Wait, let me double check here. Oh, okay. I was like, did he already pledge? No, he hasn't pledged yet, but he's going to. So yeah, the drill when it comes to all of the podcasts on my YouTube channel. I've got the links and everything to where you can follow us on all the link trees and all of that in the show notes for all of these things. And check out my author website, nathanjsmarchand.com, and monsterislandfilmvault.com. And look, I think it's I forget what the URL is for Henshin Power V3, but it's a Podbean website, so go find it on Podbean. So yeah, that's all the things to remember from me, because I don't want to ramble on too long at this point. But yeah, listen to the credits, because you should always listen to the credits, and you'll get even more information. All righty. Thank you once again, James, for joining me. This is just going to be a habit. Depending on how much stuff you put out next year, there's going to be a lot of interviews for a lot of Kickstarters.
Yeah, we're hoping. I'm hoping to be busy. But
yeah,
anytime.
It's good to be busy.
Yes, it is.
It's good to be busy.
Thank you so much for having me on. And guys, thank you for listening to me ramble forever. And thank you guys for your support.
For sure. And support indie comics, smash that like button, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and do that for this man too, because he's got a YouTube channel and he needs more subscribers so he can start live streaming. Do it.
Yes.
Do it now.
It'd be great.
Yeah. All right. See you later, everybody. May the power protect you.